We wouldn't have a show called Gloves Are Off if we didn't talk about the Edmonton Oilers, good, bad, or indifferent. This is a team that definitely generates news around this parts, of course, because it's closest to proximity-wise to Edmonton. So we got to talk about them, especially with the roster that's being unveiled. You look at them from up down. Anton Slepyshev impressed the coaching staff. He is going to be on the opening day roster. However, Leon Draisaitl is a victim of circumstance. We'll be going down to the AHL, but Peter Chiarelli, the GM of the Oilers, says, you know what? He's not going to be staying there too long. What are your predictions, guys, for, I guess, Draisaitl's return? How many games will he play in the NHL this season? Brett?
Well, prediction, if they're going to bring him back up, I think he'll probably play like 47. But if I was the GM, I'd leave him in the AHL for the whole entire season.
Really? You don't think he's second? He struggled on the wing, but he's been good when he played the center position. He couldn't be a third-line center?
I just believe that the Oilers have been bit in the butt too many times with their prospects, bringing him in way too early. I know the kid is a top 3 pick, but I still think if he had one full year in the AHL for seasoning, playing the pro game, playing against men, I think it would go beyond this year or next year for Leon Draisaitl. You'd see things 7-8 years down the road where, you know, he's already been through this type of stuff. Because, you know, the Oilers, as much as everybody's losing their mind over it, they are going to finish probably in the bottom 6-7 of the league. Like, let's be real. The Oilers are not taking that big. They're going to take a step, but it's going to be a baby step, you know. I think everybody's just got to settle down and realize that they're still growing. I think, you know, McTavish and them are all gone, but there still is their cancer and that venomous stuff in the Oilers locker room. Why bring Darnell Nurse and Leon Draisaitl, guys of your future, into that? Kind of let that seep away a little bit more for another year and then bring them in next year and see whether you can do it. That's my opinion.
And for an Oilers team, I mean, we got a lot of young guys, and there's a lot of attention on him. Draisaitl's only, 19 years old. I think he can use a little bit more seasoning in the AHL. One full one will be nice, but I think he'll get maybe 50 games. He's really just a shoulder injury away to getting called up, which, you know, what's going to happen again with Edmonton. I think he can fill in that good third-line center role if we need be.
Well, shoulder injuries seem to be the norm within the Oilers organization. I'm surprised Todd McLellan, their head coach, hasn't gotten one either for whatever reason. Okay, let's move on to this. How about substance abuse? This has become a serious topic within sports. It's understandable. We've heard it countless of times of players misusing drugs, alcohol. CC Sabathia, a primary example of that, who recently took himself off the roster for the playoffs for the Yankees, is admitting himself to get some treatment. Then you hear about the NHL. Yesterday they came out saying, yes, there is a possible increase in the use of cocaine. And then you look at stars like Jarrett Stoll, who is one prime example of a guy who had troubles over the summer, who's now trying to, I guess, rebuild his life with the New York Rangers now. What do you guys make of this situation from the NHL coming out and admitting that there's a problem? Is this a great step, being proactive? Or is this something they've kind of put on the wayside and had to get in front of it early?
From a PR standpoint, this is really what the NHL had to do from really before, like, we had many of these problems, especially with Mike Richards and whatnot. And I mean, us in the media, we hear plenty of stories about guys in the locker rooms, cocaine and stuff at parties afterwards and things like that. And even if half those stories are true, it's a surprising amount of players there. And I think the NHL realizes, you know, this is a big problem. You can't have these big athletes when people are hearing about these stories of the NHL. And if they get ahead of this right now, put in whatever drug programs they need to do, at least on the face of it, this is a good start.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with that. You know, it could blow up in their face and they could be like, oh, we had no idea about it. But
no pun intended.
Yeah. The fact that they're kind of saying, you know what, we do probably have a problem here, which we all probably, come on, like, it's happened numerous times, right, where Jared Stahl and, like, Mike Richards and all, and even trades throughout why people leave Philadelphia with Jeff Carter and Mike Richards. That was one of the biggest reasons, right? Their off-ice thing was a big problem. So with them coming in front of this and, you know, maybe making it a banned substance is probably a good thing, because let's be honest, all those guys have way more money than they can know what to do with, you know what I mean? So I think them getting in front of it is a huge step for the NHL, and probably more leagues should look at that.
And you look at some of the players who've actually suffered because of it, and not just during their playing days, but I'm talking about afterwards. The constant addiction, going into rehab, going to jail. And it goes far beyond just cocaine. If you're looking at Cassian's pays, Cassian with the Montreal Canadiens, obviously being suspended indefinitely for the time being, there are some issues when it comes to certain things. I do want to get to this real quickly. I want to talk about Raffi Torres, a guy who's had trouble with the league, seems like he's going to have trouble once again, suspended 41 games for his hit on Jakob Silfverberg. I don't know. I think his career is done. Do you guys agree with me? And we'll start with you, Bart.
The only reason you would ever hire Raffi Torres is just to make sure he never injures your own players again here. This guy, he doesn't really have the skills at this point to keep up with the league. And if he's a consistent hitter like this, I have to look up exactly how many suspensions he's had.
This will be his fourth. And his most recent one was 25 games hitting Marian Hossa, who's defenseless.
And you even have like his former teammates coming out, Ryan Kessler or Sean Horkoff, saying, hey, we love the guy, but this doesn't belong in the game. If he doesn't understand this, honestly, I don't think any team should pick him up.
Very quickly, Brett?
Yeah, well, he doesn't get it, obviously. Like, he's been suspended 4 times. The one time with Hossa, he even got 4 games taken off the original 25. Like, this guy just doesn't understand what I don't get him. Like, you violate this every single time, and you look at that hit. Silfverberg had the puck, and he took like 5 strides and then glided about another 2 feet, and then boom, shoulder right to the head. He knows what he's doing, but he just, in his brain, he just doesn't understand what he's doing wrong. But it's all wrong, and I think his career's done, like you said. Like, you might as well just hang him up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens after that. He will go through arbitration. Of course, they have an independent arbitrator to appeal the process, that is, to see if he can get those games reduced. But even so, would you want to take a chance on a guy who's going to constantly put your team in the power play or penalty kill, that is, and constantly cause your team to be down a hole? All right, guys, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we return, we're going to have more Gloves Are Off. Over, under, next.